LinkedIn is a much smaller social network than the likes of, say, Facebook. But that's its strength. You see, LinkedIn is exclusively for businesses and business people. Here are a few stats. 1 out of every 3 professionals is on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network and gives you access to the largest group of influential and successful individuals anywhere. As of 2015, the last year of which statistics are available, LinkedIn had 364 million members. And LinkedIn continues to grow rapidly. At the same time the previous year, the site had 296 million members. LinkedIn has members in over 200 different countries, and it's one of the oldest social networks, having been formed in December 2002. So even if you're not in a business niche per se, it still makes sense to be on LinkedIn. And you can target business people for leisure niches and big ticket items, and you can network with other marketers. And that's LinkedIn's biggest strength. It's a network. It's a tool for self-promotion, giving you access to a gigantic network of contacts operating within your field, and it gives you the means to reach them, to work with them, and to be seen by them. Now, when it comes to marketing, you can use LinkedIn to increase awareness, to build brand loyalty, to create a more professional impression for your brand and for your services or your products, to promote a website and gain SEO or social media marketing benefits, to find potential clients and customers, and to build leads and keep in contact with them. So when it comes to creating your LinkedIn strategy, well, the best place to start is actually the beginning. So if you haven't done so, come over to linkedin.com and sign up. And the first thing that you'll need to do is create a profile. And there are 2 types of profile that you can create on LinkedIn. The first is your own professional profile, which would be a profile for you specifically. And the second is the profile that you'll create for your business, which is where you'll promote your brand instead of yourself. Now, to begin with, you'll want to start your personal profile on LinkedIn. And what this is going to do basically is act as a springboard for your other activities. And so the idea is to sell yourself and make yourself look professional and accomplished while you're doing so. Now, I won't go through the entire procedure here as it's pretty straightforward. Nevertheless, it's best to write everything out ahead of time on your word processor so that it reads well and it places you in the best possible light. Now, your profile is basically your CV or resume online, so you need to be consistent and make sure that what you say stacks up. Bear in mind that people will look elsewhere online to verify what you put here, and any contradictions with information that can be found elsewhere will destroy your credibility in an instant. Once you've made your LinkedIn profile, the next thing you'll want to add is your company page. And this is basically like a profile, except you'll be writing about your business rather than about yourself personally. And this means you should write in a manner that sounds a little more detached and professional, and you should focus on the value proposition. How do people stand to gain from using your products or services, as well as things like the mission statement and goals. Now, they do rather hide how you set up a company page. So if you come to linkedin.com/company/add/show, then you fill in your company name, your email address, you check the box here that says I verify I'm an official representative, and then click continue. Now, your email address at the company must be at the company domain. So if you try and enter a Gmail address in here, for example, you'll get rejected. Now, there are 2 main ways you can reach an audience on LinkedIn for free: influencer marketing and content marketing. You can also buy paid advertising, but I'm not going to cover that in this video. Now, influencer marketing means you're going to stop trying to reach as wide an audience as possible with your own marketing, and instead you're going to focus on the quality of the audience that you market to. Now, this might mean focusing on one individual and getting them to promote something that you have to say. So, for example, if you were to take conventional marketing on Twitter, I know we're talking about LinkedIn, but let's talk about if you're going to do this on Twitter for a moment. Now, you might spend countless hours trying to build your number of followers and then trying to create new content to help increase your engagement. And over countless hundreds of hours spread over months or even years, you will build enough of a following to become an influencer in your niche and start getting more business every time you tweet. Well, with influencer marketing, you skip this step. Instead, you focus on creating a relationship with someone who already has a huge amount of influence. Now, let's take Bill Gates, for example. If you could somehow reach Bill Gates and get him to tweet about your product and to include your Twitter username, you would certainly get thousands of new followers overnight and gigantic sales for your products or services. So in other words, you could leapfrog all of the competition by going directly to a key influencer who has the ears and hearts of your audience. And this way, a single retweet, guest post or shout out could be of an order of magnitude more effective than hundreds or even thousands would regularly be. The problem is Bill Gates probably doesn't want to shout out for you on social media, and you probably have no means of reaching him anyway. People like Mr. Gates get spammed by hundreds, if not thousands of people every day and probably have an army of minions to wade through it all for them. Only the really important messages from people that they know and trust get through. And here's where it's easier to contact people via LinkedIn, because this is where LinkedIn's degrees of separation come in. If you could find someone who knew someone who knew someone who knew Bill Gates, you would be connected by 3 degrees of separation. And like I was saying earlier, this is where the fact that LinkedIn is a network can be very helpful, because anyone who is connected to you by 3 degrees of separation or less will show how you're connected to them when you view their profile and when they view yours, of course. So you'll be able to go onto LinkedIn and see the people you need to go through to get an introduction to Bill Gates. And what's more, if you're connected by someone with 3 degrees or less, you'll be able to send them in-mail. Now, this is a message they'll receive in their LinkedIn inbox, which statistically has a good chance of being opened. And suddenly it becomes all the more possible that you could reach a big influencer in your niche. And then there's content marketing. Now, like influencer marketing, it's an incredibly powerful marketing tool. In fact, content marketing is considered the natural evolution of search engine optimization, and it's now an integral part of almost every business's marketing strategy. And content marketing means putting high-quality articles onto your blog and posting them on LinkedIn to share with your connections. It also means joining groups and participating in the discussions. Now, don't use these as tools for direct selling, because that's going to be a real turn-off. Instead, what you're doing is converting your LinkedIn connections into potential fans and regular visitors to your website or blog. And this might also lead to some people signing up to your mailing list or even becoming direct customers or clients if your site is good at converting. At the same time, if you keep posting great quality content to your LinkedIn network, you'll find that they start to think of you as someone who knows what he or she is talking about with regards to that subject or niche. And this is the other huge benefit of content marketing. It allows you to demonstrate your knowledge and to give your visitors a free taste. And eventually, they should come to consider you as a leading authority in your field. And as such, they might seek out your opinion when looking for products, services, and other ways to spend money. And it's at this point you become an influencer yourself, and give yourself a platform through which to launch joint ventures, launch partnerships, or other business ventures. And it's all down to participating on LinkedIn. When you look at some of the best known brands in the world, you don't need reminding about what they are or what they do. For example, what about this one? Or this one? Then there's this one, and their main rivals, this one. And even though, with one exception, none of these brands actually have the name of the company or the product in them, you can tell by looking exactly what the company is and exactly what they make. For example, you can tell just by looking at this collection which company makes running shoes and which company makes computer software. And in fact, if a brand is really successful, you only have to see its name or logo, even out of context, to be reminded about what the company does or what the product is. I mean, for example, take a look at this photograph here. Now, if you're familiar with the brand, you'll know that even though it's on the side of a racing car, it's got nothing to do with motoring, it's got nothing to do with motor racing at all. But you know exactly what it is. And if you live in a market where they don't sell this, I'll tell you it's an energy drink. But if you do live somewhere where they do sell this product, you'll know immediately exactly what it is just by looking at the brand. And it's the same online as it is offline. So you need to be consistent. So if let's say you're Sam Owen 101 on Facebook, and new video for you on Twitter, and new video to go on YouTube, and Sam Owen's video productions on LinkedIn, and new videos for you on Pinterest, well, nobody is going to know that you're the same person or the same business. Likewise, if your website has one color scheme and your Facebook page has another and your Twitter feed has another and you use a different logo on your letterhead than you do online, well, quite frankly, people are not going to take you seriously. So how can you be consistent? Well, really, this is something that you must do from the very beginning. So when you're just starting out, you need to decide on a business name. Now, of course, I suppose the obvious way is to just simply use your name, but that can be problematical if you ever decide to sell the business on to somebody else. You're also selling the rights to your name. So generally, if you plan on perhaps selling your business on later on, then using your name isn't a very good idea. What is a very good idea, though, is something that is descriptive of what you do. So if you make a particular product or you sell a particular service, then including that in your business name is a good idea. And likewise, you can also include keywords as part of your business name that will make it easy for search engines to find you, and it will sort of stick in people's minds that you are or your company is or does this particular thing, and it's a keyword that sort of lodges in their brain. Regardless, you should have something that's easy to remember, something that's not too convoluted, something that easily trips off the tongue, something that people can sort of lodge somewhere in their brain, and when they need your product, they need your service, they can simply think, yes, we can have so-and-so. Or, for example, you could have something cryptic. Probably the best example of this that I know is Nike, and Nike was the ancient Greek goddess of victory. So, of course, a bit cryptic there. They were sort of thinking, well, Nike, victory, wear our shoes, cross the finish line first, that sort of thing. Something else that you really do need to do is to make sure that nobody else is using it. If you go to a whole lot of trouble of setting yourself up with a business name and then you find that actually somebody else is using it, you're going to have to start all over again. You also want to make sure that it's not deliberately confused with another more established business. And I'll give you a real life example here. Here in the UK, there is a chain of pharmacies and drugstores called Boots, Boots the Chemist, and they are a regular presence on just about every high street and shopping mall in the country. Now, I know of this guy whose name was Booth, and he started a chemist shop. He was a pharmacist by profession, and he started a chemist shop, and he called it Booth's the Chemist. Well, Boots the Chemist weren't very happy about this, and I'm told that they got him to change the name of his shop so that it couldn't be confused with theirs. So you do have to be very careful when choosing your business name that you can't purposely confuse it with another company. Something else you should do is to have the same color scheme. So you want to have the same color scheme on all of your social media sites. You want to have the same color scheme on your website, and also offline. If you run a bricks and mortar business, you want to make sure that your letterhead, that your signage, if you have a van, you want to make sure that it has the same colors as the rest of your business, so that you've got a completely seamless association in the customer's mind between those colors and you. You also want to have the same logo, and this is very important because, like I was saying earlier in the video, people will associate the logo with you. So you need to make sure that it is the same across all social media sites. And it's a good idea to get it professionally designed. You can find someone to design a logo for you on Fiverr.com. That's Fiverr with 2 R's. And this is a site where people will do all sorts of stuff for $5 or for multiples of $5. And you can see here I've done a search for logo design, and there are quite a number of different people offering this particular service. You should also have the same handle or username on all of your social media. Like I was saying earlier in the video, if you're one name on Facebook and a different one on Twitter and a different one on Pinterest, then people aren't going to know that you're the same person or the same business. So it's a good idea to go through and register an account on all the different types of media, all the different social media platforms, even the ones that you don't plan on using. Primarily because this will stop other people from hijacking your name and trading off your goodwill. Likewise, you should register all the extensions of your domain name. So you want to have your domain name .com, .net, .co, .tv, .co.uk, .com.au, etc., etc. So finally, you want to get things set up so that whenever somebody sees your logo, hears your business name, or sees your handle, they'll automatically think of you. And then you know that they've become true fans. In this video, I want to give you some tips on building a massive YouTube following. Now, why is it that some YouTube videos get so many views they practically break the counter, yet others get seen so infrequently the page looks like Tombstone before the Outlaws ride in? And how come some YouTube channels have many thousands of subscribers and their video stats hit 4 figures within a few hours, whereas others might get 1 or 2 subscribers a year and their videos never get viewed 100 times before they get taken down? Well, there are a number of different answers to that question. And while you might not have as many views and subscribers as Gangnam Style, you can certainly build a solid following and get a decent number of views for your videos. The main determining factor for how popular your videos are going to be comes down to your niche, and some niches are more popular than others. In general internet marketing, the biggest niches are fitness, dating, self-help, and making money. But some of the most popular subjects for YouTube videos outside of those big internet marketing niches are gaming, makeup tutorials, grooming and style, travel, technology, fails, cats, DIY, comedy, and lifestyle vlogs. So you need to pick a niche that's going to be popular, but often the most popular niches are the most competitive and oversaturated. So if you do a series of videos on how to do the perfect workout routine, you're going to be up against some fairly big names who already have a massive following, and you'll find it very hard to compete. So what should you do? Well, one thing is to pick a popular niche, but concentrate on a particular aspect of it. And this is known as niching down, or niching down, as some people pronounce it. LinkedIn has its own advertising platform that enables you to directly advertise to other members of LinkedIn. And this is perfect if you're a B2B marketer or you target a business-related niche. Essentially, this is a PPC network, in other words, it's pay-per-click, that works similarly to Facebook or Google AdWords. So you only have to pay when someone actually clicks on your ads, although you can also pay per impression. And you'll generally only pay a few cents for each click, but the more you pay, the more often your ad will appear, just like on Facebook or AdWords. And this is very effective because it means you don't have to pay anything if your ad is ineffectual and doesn't generate any traffic whatsoever. Like Facebook ads and Google AdWords, LinkedIn allows you to carefully target who sees your ads. And this is fantastic for B2B organizations as it lets you specifically market to decision makers within your industry. What's more, LinkedIn ads also work incredibly well for recruiting. Now, there are two main types of advertisements, the two that are most popular, and they are sponsored content and text ads. And that's what I'm going to concentrate on in this video. There are also display ads, dynamic ads, and sponsored in-mail, which is a bit like sending out a solo ad, but to people on LinkedIn rather than through email. Now, sponsored content does exactly what it says on the tin. You basically pay to get your article or post in front of the sort of people you want to read it. Now, when you're doing this, you should make this article direct and not too wordy because lots of people access LinkedIn on smartphones. And you should include a call to action at the end. Now, don't make it a blatant sales pitch, though, or you'll just put people off reading it. Consider it a free taster for your product or service. Now, text ads are similar to the sort of ads that you see as Google AdSense. And these appear at either the top or in the sidebar of LinkedIn pages. And just like with AdSense / AdWords, they should be short, compelling, and irresistibly clickable. But the best thing about LinkedIn's ads program is it's really super targeted. And the platform lets you drill down and target audiences based on location, gender, age, LinkedIn groups they're members of, skills they've listed, schools they attended, or colleges and universities they graduated from, and much more. And a unique advantage that LinkedIn advertising has over AdWords or Facebook, though, is the ability to target by company name, business category, industry size, job title, and seniority. So if you only want to reach vice presidents of marketing in North American digital technology companies with more than 500 employees, you can. And you can read more about this in some detail at business.linkedin.com/marketing-solutions. Now, the exposure you'll get from LinkedIn ads is not as great as you get from Facebook or AdWords. But for the right business model, it's definitely worth considering. In some ways, the slightly less popular nature of this platform can work in your favor, as there'll be less competition. One of the most phenomenal growth areas in recent years has been in the area of sharing photos and short clips as a tool for social communication. It's a great way to build an audience for your website or blog, and a fantastic way to show off your product or service to people. As more and more people get smartphones, and most of the platforms we're going to cover in this video are smartphone based, this can only get bigger. The main platforms that we're going to cover in this video are Snap, which was formerly known as Snapchat, Vine, and Periscope. Now let's take a look at Snap. This used to be called Snapchat, but it recently changed its name and it's going into hardware as well as software. Now, Snap works with a very specific media for communicating with users. And there are a couple of differences that make this platform unique and one of the most interesting social media platforms in use today. like using photos and videos to communicate with other people. While Twitter and Facebook and most social media platforms mainly communicate with text, the only text you'll find here is the captions on pictures and videos. Another difference is that when you post your pictures and videos, they'll generally last for only 1 to 10 seconds, although you can post stories that can last up to 24 hours. Then they vanish like a ghost, hence the logo. And it's better to use stories more than snaps to advertise your products or services, because obviously they stay around for longer. So think of a story like a viral video. If you make it overly promotional, well, quite frankly, it's just not going to work. So you want something clever, something that no one has ever seen, and something that evokes emotion. And this will make people want to share the story with their friends, and it'll give you the exposure that you're looking for. Creating good stories will also make people want to follow you. So every time you create a story, keep in mind that you're both trying to get people to follow you and you're trying to get your product or service out there. If you want to get a good idea as to how stories work and which ones are most popular, check out some of the Snapchat stories, and they still use the old name at the moment, on BuzzFeed. Breaking news. Snap Incorporated is releasing a new piece of hardware, Snap Spectacles. These are glasses with a built-in camera. Simply tapping on the side of the glasses will record 10 seconds of video footage from a first-person perspective. So now you can record video just like you're looking at it. It's almost like having a GoPro strapped to your head. Can you imagine the possibilities this is going to unfold? Now, the company will be releasing the product to the market soon, so best to set up a Google alert to keep informed of the latest developments. Then there's Vine. And Vine is a social network where people can share 6-second looping videos. Twitter thought so much of it, they acquired it for a reported $30 million. And that was before its official launch. As of December 2015, the last statistics that are available, Vine had 200 million active users. And users' videos are published through Vine's social network and can be shared on other services such as Facebook and Twitter. And Vine's app can also be used to browse through videos posted by other users. Now, when you're using Vine, the camera only records while the screen is being touched, and this enables users to edit on the fly or create stop-motion effects. And there were some additional features added to the app in July 2013, and these include grid and ghost image tools for the camera, curated channels, including themed areas and trending topics or users, protected posts, and the ability to re-Vine videos on a personal stream. Your approach to marketing on Vine and Periscope, which we'll get to in a moment, should be similar to your approach to Snap. Entertaining, shareable, and not salesy. And you can see some Vine videos and download the app at vine.co. Finally, there's Periscope. Now, Periscope is similar to Vine insofar as it streams short videos. The key difference is that Periscope streams videos live. And when you use Periscope, you'll find that you're presented with a map of the world upon signing in. And on this map are various points where you can see people who are currently streaming video. So simply click on the dot on the map and the name of the broadcaster, and then you can tune in and start watching what they're filming. It's a bit like having your own TV station in that respect. And you can then comment on the video, you can ask questions, you can like it, you can follow the person, or you can leave and watch something else. And in addition to the same strategies as for Snap and Vine, You can also use Periscope to get traffic to a website or visitors to a bricks and mortar store by running a flash offer. The geolocating feature means users can pinpoint where you are at that very moment. Now, these are just 3 of the new and exciting photo and video apps out there, and new ones are being developed all the time. By honing your strategy on these platforms, you'll be in pole position to start marketing on the newer apps and as soon as they launch, which will put you one step in front of the competition.